So I'm starting on the upper case now, and I built this mock-up, which is not to scale, but I needed to practice and understand the joinery that is involved at the top here before building the case. So in this particular construction, you got a top and a bottom which are made out of pine, and then the two sides. For the quarter columns, you need an inch setback in both directions here, so you cut the case side an inch shorter, and then you have this runner along here. And the way Mr. Chapin did his joinery is that he hid it, and so there's a dovetail that holds the runner, and these would be for all of the drawer dividers all the way down, but I did one of them here. And then there's a tenon here on the edge of it that this runner is mortised, and it would fit in all the way down, and the construction is quite solid. So anyway, that's perhaps the simpler part of the whole thing. The top, then, the main reason, and I won't get to the top until much later, but the main reason is that the top has a cutback on it, and you still can't see it. Here, let me turn it a little bit more, and we'll zoom in on that top. Anyway, you can start to see it now. So you can see here that there is a slope or a cutback here in the top, and the reason that's there is because the lattice sets down below the top edge by about I don't remember, 5/8 of an inch, and it has a 1/2 inch here, so a 1/4 or an 1/8 of an inch of the top would be seen through those holes there, and you don't want to see that, or he didn't want to see that, so you needed to cut a rebate back from that slope. So I did this one, set it back a 1/2 inch, and that's still not enough. When it's raised to the proper height, I can still see a little bit of it, so I've got to probably move it back to 3/4 or an inch. But that's what I wanted to know, because I don't want to have to keep taking the top apart. And of course you have to put in these corners here for the runners, the 1-inch runners that go up and down. You have to cut back the top 3/8 of an inch to allow for the space for the lattice work that goes in. And so I wanted to figure that all out before I made the very simple top, bottom, and the two sides. So I think I'm ready to get started now that I understand how that's going to work. Flattening one side of the chest, upper chest here. So this is about 17.5 inches, actually almost 20 inches wide. So it's a bit too wide for any of my machinery. So we'll flatten one side with the plane here. Then I'll use my wide belt sander, which is 22 inches wide, to do the other side once I get one flat side. Well, I've milled the sides and the top and bottom. So in the previous video you saw me hand planing the sides, and of course I cleaned them up. So they're 7/8 of an inch by 16 1/8 inch wide. But you can see I made a story stick here with the markings where all the runners would be, and this is the top here where it's a little more complex there. And so it really helps out doing the measurements. and I personally plan on routing the grooves in the side. So the old one was where they nailed the runners. Here's the top and bottom out of pine. I glued together a couple of pieces of pine and then milled it to the right dimensions. The bottom's there. This is the top piece, so it fits into the opening just so. And then we've got to dovetail the two sides to the top and bottom. Well, I've laid out the dovetails here for the top and the sides, and you can see they're just arbitrary. These are 2-inch tails and 1/2-inch pins on the top, so I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tails. So I think that's a pretty good number and pretty good size for that. 16 1/8 inches across there. So we're going to saw them out and then chop them out. I'm cutting the dovetails on the bottom right now, and again, the Mockup vise that I built makes it so much easier because I can clamp up to 20 inches wide. Cutting dovetails in pine is pretty much fun. It's got to chop out halfway on this side. And of course, this pine is so soft, it goes pretty fast. So this is the other side of the board. So I've chopped out halfway through on the other side, and it's pretty much the same. That's too wide. And we're done. And again, these corner ones I'll saw out. Well, I've got the upper case clamped together after cutting the dovetails on the top and the bottom. So this is obviously the bottom, and on the other end is the top. So we're at 41.5 inches. And so now I'm going to mark out the pins and matching numbers here so that I can put it back together after cutting out the pins on the two sides. So so far it's pretty square. This table's not perfectly flat, but it's reasonably flat, so it's looking pretty good at this point. Well, now I know why they call it a high boy. So it's getting up there, and I haven't even put in the drawer runners or any of the other pieces in it, let alone the drawers, but they could always be taken out, and it's almost too heavy already. So we've got 41.5 inches high on the sides. They're 16 1/8 deep, 7/8 thick. The top and bottom are pine, which are pretty light, but it still weighs a good amount. So the next step would be to start to work on the drawer runners, I think, and or drawer blades across the front. So follow along. Well, I'm cutting the drawer blades now. There's 6 of them that go across the HighChest, and I've worked on this one here a little bit more as a sample, and you'll get some idea as what it needs to look like. So it's an inch on the back side there, but I got to take a 1/4 inch off of the back yet because it's a 3/4 inch dovetail that's on the back, and that gets or slips into the case side, and then set back an inch with a 13/16 inch tenon there, which is 3/8 of an inch thick. That goes into the runner that runs top to bottom, and that creates a 1x1 opening along the side of the chest. So I'm doing it with a dado set, and that we got set up over here. Let me get it back up here. Well, I've placed all of the drawer blades in the correct position on the upper chest at the moment, and the next step, I don't know if you can see it there, is there's a dovetail, half dovetail on the edge of every one of those blades that has to be cut into that side, so you've got a more or less a half blind dovetail to cut, which is 3/4 of an inch deep. So that'd be the next step, so that they would be in the proper position then, and then you attach, I've got to cut mortises into this rail that fits then onto the tenons that are there, and that creates the 1x1 opening for the 1/4 column. So that's the next step. Well, I've fitted all the dovetails into the sides of the case. So let's zoom in here and we'll see if we can see one of the dovetails. There you can see one. And following having fitted all the dovetails in, then I took the 2 side rails and mortised each of the 6 mortises that needed to go onto the tenons for each of the drawer blades, as you can see there. And those are 3/8 of an inch wide, and put them on. And so now we're done with this particular, of course it's not glued up, but you can see there's our original sample 1/4 column that will fit into that opening. So you got about a 1/16 of an inch on either side of the 1/4 column, which is the way it's supposed to be. So this phase of the case construction is over. So the next thing is to put in the drawer runners, and that would be the pieces that go along the side towards the back, or I can make the back. Now the Chapin back was unusual in that it was a single large board that was fit into a groove, much the way a drawer bottom would. So if I decide to make the back the way Chapin did it, then that would be next as well. Well, today I worked on the drawer runners, and as you can see, I've put the upper case onto the base, and I'll zoom in here a little bit. We can take a look at what I did. So I started by putting a dado 1/8 inch deep all along the case sides here, and then I made out of pine drawer runners here. I also put a groove in to the back of each of the drawer blades here, and there is a 1/4 inch tenon on the end of the drawer runners here, so that it fits into the blade exactly. So I'll be able to glue a little bit up front, and then I'll put a nail in the back to hold the drawer runners in. Also, I put a 1/4 inch groove in the back, which is set back a 1/2 inch from the back of the case so that I'll be able to slide in the back the way Chapin did it. So I'm going to make it a shiplap, half-inch shiplap sided, and I milled the pieces for that. So in upcoming videos we'll see the back get slipped in. So I've got some work to do here yet on the small upper drawers. So I need a runner that comes across here, and then a divider that would go up against these two to serve as a guide for the 3 drawers. Also, I need guides all along here that would be 1 inch, because the drawers actually ride out here. So I'll be adding them much later in the process. So still some more work to do on the case, but it's coming along.